Great E.
Hey Jason, actually, can I ask you for a second?
Here, who are the yippee-ki-yay?
Motherfucker.
I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
This is our review because it's Christmas time for Die Hard.
But Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
You're right, it is. There you go, turn it off.
Okay, so
Didn't this come out like 8,000 years ago?
40 years ago.
Wait, what? 40?
No, I'm sorry.
Blatantly wrong. 30. That's how old Bruce Willis is. This is the movie that killed Alan Rickman.
Wasn't this like Alan Rickman's like first like
Last
big
movie because he died.
Was his last movie for Alice in Wonderland? Or one of them? Yeah, the second one.
The cat. He's a fucking caterpillar. For like 10 seconds.
You know,
What was that?
they did the throwback thing for Cinemark, and they played this like in November. They played Die Hard.
How much did you pay to go see it?
I paid $8 and one ticket.
I paid $6 to go see it at a different theater.
You know, it was pretty exciting to go see that movie in a big theater, and I love the moment when Alan Rickman first walks in.
Dies. I love the moment where Alan Rickman fucking dies.
Because when he walks in, he's just like, "Ladies and gentlemen," and then I looked up, I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
He's back.
And then he was like, "Where's Mr. Potter?"
Oh my god.
And he pulled out an Uzi and he just
Shot
killed
Mr. Duenas.
Alan Rickman was really good in this movie.
This is the movie that inspired all of the school shootings that have been happening recently.
Because of Alan Rickman.
Because of Alan Rickman.
It's all his fault.
Yeah. This also triggered 9/11. This is what made it happen.
Because they attacked Nagatomi Tower.
No, they attacked the Twin Towers.
And you know, like, I think I'll always love Alan Rickman as Professor Snape.
Did you just touch your leg?
I did. But God, every time I watch this movie, I just Hans Gruber is so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he's a terrible person, but
No, he's not. What the fuck are you talking about? He's the hero.
Of course, he's the main character. He literally died hard.
At the end of the movie, when Scooby and the gang unmask him, and it turns out it was really Donald Trump. Those are probably the peak of the movie. The end of the climax, which really brought it towards its peaceful conclusion. So explain to everyone why it's a Christmas movie before you come again.
Because it takes place on Christmas Eve. And they make a lot of, like, references to Christmas.
Why? Is it because it's Christmas? And is then henceforth a Christmas movie?
It is.
Can you put the Sands theme song right there after you say that? This is awful.
Bruce Willis is Bruce
Willis is so hot.
Bruce Willis, like, the crazy thing about this is that he looks so young in this.
Doesn't he have hair in this one?
He does. That's why why it's crazy, because he has hair in this.
At what point in the Die Hard franchise does Bruce Willis no longer have hair, and do they address it?
I think it's part 4 is when he doesn't have hair. In part 3, like, he still has hair, but it's like going away, like he's getting bald. But part 4 is when he becomes full on bald Bruce Willis.
Bald Bruce Willis.
You know, if you watch the franchise, they just like all the movies, like his enthusiasm for Yippee-Ki-Yay slowly goes down. Like he just like hates doing it now.
Yippee-Ki-Yay. Is it his Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, say Yippee-Ki-Yay. Yippee-Ki-Yay.
And then and he looks at John, and Holly walks in, and then he's talking to Holly but looking at John the entire time.
Holly?
Show him
Christmas
the
movie? Her name's Holly?
Jolly.
No, asshole, Holly. Do you think that the black guy in the limousine was a necessary part of the plot?
No, I don't think he is, but
such a racist.
But it was good. I feel like it was just he was just there for comic relief. I think. Then again, John McClane himself is a comic relief.
Oh, so haha, funny black man. Is that how you roll here, Jason?
But yeah, again, even then, John McClane himself is just the comic relief. But
That's all he is.
It's fun to have another one. I mean, like, I always kind of what's his name in that movie? I forget.
Jim
Argyle is his name, the limousine driver.
I was close.
Jim. I think what's so cool about John McTiernan when he directed this movie, though, is that like, if you watch like something like Predator, like they're similar in a way, but they're just like, I feel like they're just so different, you know?
For example, there's an alien that's trying to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And like I feel like John McClane, like obviously, like you can't really relate to him in like a clear way because he's a cop fighting terrorists.
I can relate,
but in certain aspects you can relate with John McClane, and like especially with his marital problems with Holly.
I have marital problems with Holly too.
I can't relate to anyone in Predator, especially because they're all like macho. Like every guy in that whole team is macho. Not one of them is like sensitive. Maybe Shane Black's character, but
none of the characters in Predator have feelings. Bad movie.
I didn't say it was a bad movie.
Bad movie.
I love that movie.
Bad movie. Get back in the corner. Think about what you did to me.
But yeah, they're all macho. Like especially the guy with the minigun, who's all like, "I ain't got time to bleed."
Then he turns into Sans. This shit'll make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. What's not sensitive about that?
The scene, my favorite.
You know what? Take away an Oscar from him.
I think my favorite scene in this whole movie is when
he dies because you hate him.
When Hans jumps down because he went to one of the floors by himself.
Wait, the guy from Frozen?
What did I say, Hans? And he jumps down because he was fixing something in the upper floors, and when he jumps down, John is there. He like has the gun on him, and then Hans is like, "Oh my God, you're one of them!" Like I love that scene because I felt like the first time I watched it, I was like, "God, that is so smart." Like I honestly, like in that moment, I don't think I would have done that. I would have just been like, "Dang!" And I would have died.
Like, oh no, it's a retard. I'm sorry. I'll let you go.
But yeah, that was like such a smart thing to do. Another thing that I found really cool is that like the amount of effort that they put into the plan, and like they thought of like every little thing, and especially like if there was gonna be like a backdraw to all of this. Obviously, they didn't like plan for anything like John McClane.
But you know what? They didn't plan for Bruce Willis with hair, did they?
But like besides him, like every other thing that they could have thought of, it was thought of like really well. And that goes to the writers for thinking of that.
No, that goes to Hans Gruber because he's real. This is a documentary. Don't be a fool.
One character I could have done without
Thanos.
Was Thanos. Was the technician guy who was breaking into the thing, like
the black guy.
Yeah, like just the way. Like the way he acted, like I can't think of like Yeah, I think he just seemed a little too
cartoony.
Yes, thank you. He was a little too cartoony for.
He comes in, he goes,
especially because of how everyone else acts in the team. Like he was the only one that seems a little too hyper. Like I feel like that kind of ruined.
He's just super pumped to be robbing this big Nagasaki building.
Boom! 2 points! And then he kicks the guy out of the chair.
He's the Jar Jar of Die Hard.
Smart.
I'm like Hans from Frozen. Every guy named Hans in every movie been smart as fuck.
How this movie has a lot of explosions, but it works. Michael Bay. Everything besides that, though, like I feel like this movie still holds up to this day, especially because of the action scenes. Like the action scenes, like still work.
What's an action movie that's come out recently? The new Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible was a good one.
Which do you think they can compete with that one?
No, I don't think Die Hard can compete with anything as far as action movies. I don't think. Are you following the square on the camera?
It's following me. I was circling in disbelief.
What do you mean?
I don't understand your statement.
What statement?
Explain yourself.
About what?
I don't remember now.
I don't either.
You were talking about something. Can it compete with other action movies? Don't breathe and look to the left so quickly.
Yeah. Again, I don't think anything can compete with Die Hard. Like to be honest, I don't really love action movies. They're just not my type of thing. Like I always liked sci-fi and fantasy and action adventure. You know, something like Indiana Jones or
not what I said.
Avengers. Just a movie that's just straight up action. I can't really get my head around it. But Die Hard is a huge exception for me. I always just kind of loved Die Hard, and it just works. Yeet.
What about Aliens? That's pretty much an action movie.
Yeah. There's always that point that people make where they feel like Aliens are a horror movie rather than anything else.
Well, the first one is.
Yeah. Another one that.
Covenant is pretty scary too at points.
Predator is there's some action in it, but it just feels like it's kind of straight up sci-fi at times. Obviously, it's not total sci-fi since the guns are real guns.
Real guns?
They're not phasers or anything that shoot out laser bolts.
Wow. What?
The guns that they use to kill the Predator.
Okay, because I was that boy uses lasers, though.
Yeah, he does. That's why I consider Predator to be sort of a straight up sci-fi rather than action.
What about the part where Predator looks at Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's about to kill him and he says, swag? Then he just takes him out.
But yeah, this movie has always been a huge exception for me for action movies, and
it makes you like action movies.
Exactly, and that's why I continue to watch all the other Die Hard movies, because after this one, it just
calm the fuck down.
It's just all action, it's action nonstop. I feel like it doesn't make any stops for exposition, while this movie does, and that's why this has been an exception for me. Because it's action, but it still has exposition in it, rather than just everything is action.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it just has to go with the two leads of John McClane and
Danny McBride.
And Danny McBride.
And James.
They both give great performances. And especially because I think it was for both of them, it was their first big movie. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about Alan Rickman, but
Alan Thickenman.
Alan Thickenman. But this was like Bruce Willis's like first like big movie, and for that like he did a pretty good job. I know that they said like he was doing mostly like comedy shows before this movie, so he was just kind of like a straight up just comedy actor, but with hair, and like from that to this is like a huge transition to me. But like, you know, by now
going from man to woman,
like now it's different. Now it's like the opposite. Like it's hard to see, like before I'm sure it was hard for people to see Bruce Willis as an action hero because of that comedy show he did, but now it's hard to see Bruce Willis anything other than an action hero because of Die Hard and every other action movie that he's been in.
Thanks, Obama.
But Alan Rickman, like, he worked so perfectly as the villain. He's my favorite villain in cinema aside from Darth Vader. I mean, the way he acts...
You obviously forgot about Lord Farquaad.
I saw a guy who looked like Lord Farquaad today.
Was it my mom? Mom, you don't watch these.
Alright. Like, ooh.
She just texted me. Fuck you saying about me?
Because like everything that he did in this movie was just so like, it felt so calm and gentle. You know, there's times where he'll get a little too like overwhelmed, and that's mostly due to
cry.
his teammates throwing tantrums. But besides that, he's always just so calm. He's like a calming villain, and I feel like that's what worked about him. Same thing with
Thanos.
Jeremy Irons.
In the second one.
In the third one.
The third one. That's what I said.
I feel like whenever Jeremy Irons is a villain, though, he's always a calm villain. Like Scar, I feel like he was a pretty calm villain.
Very calm guy.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing. You kind of want to maybe drink some milk with him.
Yeah. Like in Harry Potter, like obviously you find out in the very end that Snape is a good guy. But like everything besides that, like when you're thinking he's a villain the whole time, he wasn't exactly calm. I feel like he would always like get a little too angry and yell and stuff. But like in this, he's like super calm. He was just really good in this movie. It's such a fun movie to watch around Christmas time.
Is it your favorite Christmas movie?
It is. It is my favorite Christmas movie. I'll watch this every Christmas, just like how I'll watch Halloween every Halloween. Except for this past Halloween, I did not do that.
You fucking...
This guy was over.
Piece of shit.
We couldn't agree on what movie to watch on Halloween.
So we didn't watch anything?
We didn't watch anything.
I brought a little Mexican with me. It's all her fault.
Oh well.
Bitch.
Well, I'm sure I'll watch Die Hard again this Christmas. Yeah, no, I won't.
I watch the Grinch XXX parody every year at Christmas.
Yeah, he just did really good in this.
He's touching me.
What about you?
Whoa.
About this movie?
It's a broad question. Well, I went and saw it at a cheap theater most recently, and there was a big fat guy next to me, and he kept sneezing during the show. But every time he would sneeze, my seat would shake because he was just a massive man. It was my dad. That was my mom.
Oh. Said it was a man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
I've never watched Die Hard in December.
Really?
Never. It's always been throughout the year. And this will be my first year as a woman. And I'm going to watch it during December.
Nice.
My dad showed it to me when I was about 12 years old.
And he said, son, this is a good Christmas movie.
And I said, it's not a Christmas movie, it's an action movie. He's like...
Sit down!
Turns out he wasn't talking about Die Hard at all, he just wanted to beat me. But then we watched Die Hard. Die Hard has always been one of my favorite 80s movies, and now it's one of my favorite Christmas movies because I went and saw it in theaters. And I am excited to add it this year. viewing it right after the Grinch XXX parody.
E.
That's all I have to say about
What would you give this?
you need to calm down.
What would you give this movie for a score? Like, what score would you give this movie?
I give this movie 9 screaming, falling Hans Grubers out of 10. Because it holds a special terrorist place in my heart, except for the guy that keeps trying to open the door, because I don't like him.
I'm gonna give this. There may be like little problems with it, but I'm still gonna give it 10 yippee-ki-yays out of 10 yippee-ki-yays.
So you're saying that there's problems, but it's perfect.
Correct. There may be problems, but it's perfect in my eyes.
You're like a mother.
Correct. It's a movie only a mother can
You've
love.
birthed this. You birthed hard. Die hard.
Thanks for watching this review for Die Hard. I know we didn't get too in-depth into it, but how could we when it's just too good of a movie?
Yeah, that's why.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to
Kill
like
yourself
and
tonight.
poop and subscribe to this channel, or at least that's what we think it is.
It's okay, dude. Nobody watches this.
I know. Bye!
I beat my meat now.